Abby, what do you think we've been learning about?
Oh, my stars.
Habitats, good. What are habitats? Bella?
It's where an animal lives.
Where animals live. So I want you guys to think about where you live. When you leave school, where do you go? I want you just to think about it. What is that place called? I also want you to think about, you're just thinking right now, I want you to think about what you need to survive when you're at home. Okay, so I want you to turn and talk to somebody that's sitting next to you about what it is. Dr. Hayden. All right, you three can all talk together. Donald, for this, I'm going to scoot you up here. Can you stand up for me? You can talk to Bella and Haley. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Good. Do you guys remember what happens when I say that?
Yes.
Yeah, you close your mouth, you stop talking, and you look up at me, right? Yeah? Okay, so we're going to be using that in the lesson, and I want you guys to remember that. Okay, so can anybody tell me where they live? What is it called? Lacey?
I live where Brianna lives.
You live where Brianna lives? Do you know what it's called where you live? Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house?
Yes.
You live in a house. Does anybody live somewhere other than a house? Donald, where do you live?
We live, well, everybody and everything in the world.
So, do you live in a house?
Well, I'm talking about that. We live in, what is it called?
An apartment?
No.
No? Is it something like a house?
I'm talking about like a trailer? No. Wow.
Kind of like a trailer? Okay. Does anybody live in an apartment? Jalen, you live in an apartment? You do? Okay, so there's lots of places that us humans live. Now, where do animals live? Do animals live in houses?
No.
Well, some animals live in houses, don't they? Like dogs and cats. What about bears? No, they don't live in houses. Where do they live, Abby? Let's listen to Abby. What'd you say? A cave, good. What's another place that an animal might live? Any kind of animal, not just bears. Cameron?
Underwater.
Underwater. Okay, so animals can live in caves, underwater. What are those things examples of? Lexi? A habitat, good. So animals live in a habitat. Remember, I need everybody to have their eyes on me. Okay, so now we're going to go over the different types of habitats. So let's talk about the pond habitat first. Do you guys remember that? Yeah? What are some types of animals that live in a pond? Christian?
Bobcat?
A what?
Bobcat?
A bobcat in a pond? Maybe do they live outside of the pond a little bit? Yeah? Okay, what's another animal that might live in a pond? Brianna? A fish? Okay. One more. Haley? A frog. Good. Okay, and are there any plants in a pond or around the pond? Yes, there are. Good. Matthew, what's one type of plant? A lily pad. Good. Okay, now the next one we're going to talk about is a desert. Think about some types of animals and even some types of plants that are in a desert. Let's see. Lacey, what's one type of...
Poisonous lizards.
Poisonous lizards. Good, Lacey. Let's see. Christian. You can tell me a snake. Okay. And this time I want a plant that might be in the desert. Cameron?
I got one. A cactus.
A cactus. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the forest habitat. So I want want you thinking about animals and plants that are in the forest. Abby? A tree. Good. Do the trees have lots of leaves in the forest?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Okay, Brianna, what's something else? A flower. Good. Do we know of any animals that might live in the forest? Courtney?
Jaguar.
A jaguar, yeah. They can live in the forest. And one more, Brooke.
Squirrel.
A squirrel. Good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the rainforest. Okay, do you guys know any animals that live in the rainforest? You guys should know the rainforest pretty well, huh? Ethan, do you know any animals that are in the rainforest? Or any plants? A jaguar can be in the rainforest too. Good. Hayden?
A cockatoo.
A what?
Cockatoo.
A cockatoo. That's a really good animal. Let's see. One plant that might be in the rainforest. Emma? Do you know a plant that might be in the rainforest?
No, I don't know an animal.
Okay, you can tell me the animal.
Bear.
A bear? Well, they live more in the forest. In the rainforest, there's a lot of birds, right? And there's some other animals too, like Ethan said, a jaguar. Okay, now we're going to talk about the ocean habitat. What are some animals and even some plants that live in the ocean? Jalen? Whales, yes, there are some whales in the ocean. What about you, Elijah? Do you know of any animals or plants in the ocean? A puffish? Good. Okay, and one more in the ocean. Lacey?
Dolphin.
Dolphin. Good. Okay, so we've talked about electric eels too. So we've talked about the desert, the forest, the rainforest, the pond, and the ocean. So that's 5 different habitats. Okay, so now I'm going to split you guys up into groups, and you guys are going to get to build your own habitat. You're going to get to put some things together. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bag, and it's going to have some things that go in your habitat. So you guys I'm going to tell you what habitat you're building. So for example, you could be building the ocean habitat. And in the ocean I'm going to give you a bag that has some stuff that goes in the ocean, but there's also some stuff in there that doesn't go in that habitat. Okay, so you guys are going to have to be very careful when you're looking in your bag, and you're going to have to build your habitat in the way that makes the most sense. So, let's see, our jaguars, do they go in the air? No! So we have to make sure. Well, they can climb up trees. Yes, they jump, yes.
Or they jump over
Okay.
the plane.
All right, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Thank you. You guys did really well with that. Okay, so if I say your name, I want you to stand up and walk over to around here. Okay, Bella, Courtney, Omar, and Anna B. All right, next group is going to come over here. Ethan, Haley, Cameron, Brianna. Okay, the next group is going to go right next to Donald in that area. Abby, Peyton, Jalen, Elijah. Okay, the next group is going to come up here in the front. That's Matthew, Lexi, Lacey, and Brooke. All right, and then you 3 that are left, Hayden, Christian, and Donald. You guys are going to come right up here. I'm going to answer questions in a little bit, okay, Donald? I need you to go get in your group for right now. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to hand each group a poster forward. Okay, and you guys can work on the ground, so you can put the poster board on the ground.
And do we glue the same down?
Yep, you can glue everything down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
Okay.
Everybody's mouths are closed, so they're looking at me. Okay, so you're going to glue everything down. You're going to glue everything down, and I want you to glue it. Remember, there are no trees flying up in the air. Okay? We need to make sure that everything is on the ground. Okay, go ahead. Yep, don't glue the things that don't go in your habitat. You can glue your title on the top.
Definitely not a beer. That's where I glue. It can't be a little bit.
I'm sorry.
The what?
It makes more sense for her.
Will the birds go in the air? Yeah, they fly in the air.
But that's not
Make sure you're only putting the things, you're only gluing the things down that belong in your habitat.
Yeah. Okay, now we can go that way. Have you ever seen a deer? I think in the rain. They're not moving.
It's all working together. Good job. Good.
Do you think we should, like, just pause it and start over?
Yeah, because it's all that's